Hey, water signs, welcome to our reading for this week. Gosh, don't you guys just love it when you find yourself in a flow state that is sustained by the momentum of the moment? It's just moment to moment joy. I see a leaf falling, so someone might be turning a new leaf this week to start gaining a level of focus and mastery. And voila, look at that 24-degree new full moon in Leo. Excuse me. I had to check my memories and scan where we were. As the moon is waxing and growing in visibility at night, we might be finding ourselves getting really creative, getting closer to our goal, our sense of purpose. And with you, water, as this is a transit, it is a watery transit, which with Aquarius. For Pisces, this is your 12th house. For my Cancers, this is your 4th house? 8th house, sorry. Excuse me, 8th house. And Scorpio, 4th house energy. Look at that. We've got the Ace of Cups. This week is about to go off. Look at that. Valentine's Day, a full moon in Leo, and you guys have a water return, or the element of water will be heightened with the thoughts that you think about your community, the feelings that you get about belonging in your community, the ways that you spiritually align to your community. Some of you guys might come to find yourself by the end of this week in a very aligned situation. As this Ace of Cups actually makes me think of like a smaller cup, or maybe how small this cup is and the person is like swan diving into it, likely from a height, seeing that their whole body is extended. It just feels like you have that level of focus to trust yourself, to come out on top. And that attitude is the attitude of receiving, because not only does it imply that you've applied yourself, you've rid yourself of any redundancy, any stalemate thinking. It's been beheaded. And looks like with the start of this week happening at 21 degrees Aquarius in the third decan, come 20, once that sun conjuncts Mercury, we will have Chinamasta energy. So I'm going to take a look at that one. And this is our general energy for the week ahead, and we'll dive into Cancer here in just a moment. Sacred severance is her radical grace. So this could imply like we stop talking to someone, we stop thinking in specific ways. I would say that would be limiting to our sense of community, limiting to our sense of feeling good in our community space, or even feeling like we're alone, feeling like no one gets us. That I would say that that's the shadow energy of this week that we're working through. With the culmination of the full moon, seeing that it is a third decan full moon, this will be very primed for where you're focusing. So make sure that you're focusing on what matters. You might have people's lives around you falling apart, but if you're focused on what matters to you, specifically to you and how you feel, you're going to come out on top. It feels like you're going to really land something. It feels like you'll have a lot of beauty around you, which who doesn't love a feeling of being in exquisite beauty with no more murmuring thoughts, nothing that's going to pull you back to a state of feeling like your vision doesn't matter, or maybe it was a vision that was overtaking how you feel. Like there could have been someone holding on to a vision of a perfect family, a perfect entrance into adulthood, a perfect relationship, perfect job, and sun conjunct Mercury, done. And then the heart's going to need to say, this is how I really feel. This is what I wanted. And we have a lot of ideas imposed upon us by whether it be authority figures, just a vision that was put on us by someone else who maybe is living through us. Not like we're blaming anyone for anything, but it's just a recognition is going to be made clear. And this will lead to self-liberation. It's going to lead to the heart having the regal position. And with that position, I want to get Kim Kranz and the Rose Oracle, and we'll dive into each of your readings. And you see, I have a sparkle in my eye. Like, I just was speaking to this, like when you lose yourself in a moment, that's how you guys will feel by the end of this week. Morning dew. Walk me out in the morning dew, my honey. Grateful Dead song. Clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. It feels like there's a Shambhavi Mudra. I'm getting inducted into that this weekend with Sadhguru. Meditation during the year of the Wood Serpent, just as we're coming out of the Chinese New Year. Happy Year of the Wood Snake, everyone. This is a year that I definitely believe we need to get our energy aligned. Kundalini energy, your chakras, your nadis, your energy systems. Sitting in meditation is like charging your device. So if you want to charge this physical device that's rented, we are returning this to the soil after we get our years in. And every day is a gift, especially when you recharge daily. And after hitting almost 100 days of consistent meditation, I can say that this morning dew, this clarity, this fresh start, a positive outlook, focus, and feeling like you nailed it is going to be something that even if you started today through to the new moon in Virgo, listen to me, new moon in Pisces, that's going to be coming in the eclipse season when Venus is retrograde. And water, you guys are going to have a lot of energy being freed up after this transit, specifically after this week. Whenever you guys get a clear sense of where you are feeling left out because your mind has taken things too far, and you'll have this feeling of like, I showered, I just took a nice refreshing restorative break. Come the new moon in Pisces, you will be able to take it all in. It's going to feel like you have been able to fully tune into this energy. Daughter of Swords. I love this one. The boar, the cat, the horse, and the ram are the goat, the Capricorn. Someone could be dealing with a Capricorn. You guys, if you're interested in Chinese astrology, I love it. Check out your primal astrology sign. I'm a clownfish, and I can definitely attest to having that energy of being really like defensive and territorial, but also fun. I like Finding Nemo, and I was just learning about maybe these are things to watch for the week ahead intuitively. The narwhal search, what was it? Captain Nemo. This was during a Wikipedia deep dive. Captain Nemo and this attack on a narwhal, which is basically like a unicorn of the sea. So it's interesting to see, and maybe that's on like audiobook, how we can channel creative solutions by tuning into just like old forms of media, Internet Film Archive. These are really channeled because I haven't even thought about that in years, guys. So check out the Internet Film Archive. I would say that a lot of these like film reviews are biased, but if you actually have the time and energy to scan those lists or watch like a Criterion collection film, some of that is like past life stuff. Yep. Apocalypsis. And I would even say for anyone who's had someone vicariously living through them, now's the time, we excavate that energy. We get to the bottom of the end and we figure out what our song is. That siren. See how it matches my nails? I would say tune into Valentine's Day energy. Come to your own truth by the end of this week. Make sure that whatever has been fertile compost in your life, you're putting it into your art, put it into your music. Like literally click, drag, drop into a folder, excuse me, so that your experiences don't distract you. That's where this focus card is. It's like cleaning your desktop. You want to just focus on the project that's open, on the window that's open, so you can sink into the emotions of what you're feeling. Allow for your mind to just take the next exit and for your heart to continue creating this project. I would say Daughter of Swords is like summoning energy. So it's working with the mental energies and coming into this fresh perspective, this very meditative perspective about what has ended, what is no longer in service, and what song you want to sing. All right, Cancer. So let's get started with your reading. And for those of you guys who don't know, I have lunar syncing. It's on my Telegram channel where I text a series of cards I've pulled for the day, touch on any transits that intuitively stick out. And from there, you guys can have this on your phone, journal, take notes, work with the archetypes of the day. It's been really nice to get consistent with it. All right, Cancer. So for anyone looking for like daily mini reads, find me on Telegram. It's linked below. And after this, of course, I will have my 1-minute summaries on TikTok, also linked in the description. All right, Cancer, Ace of Fire, Balance, and 7 of Earth. Ace of Fire. That's a strong card to have come out of this reading because it just feels like you all feel comfortable. Maybe because of this Mars retrograde leading you guys to make new decisions about what your emotions mean. So like maybe a year ago, before Mars had any retrograde even on the radar, as it was moving through Gemini, you guys had like subconscious energies working through you about like how you needed to change, how things needed to shift, and you tried to apply the old lessons. Balance, Archangel Zadkiel is saying that the lessons you learned over the past year with Mars in your 12th house are now being balanced. It takes a while for the transits to settle in, and especially if you have more of like a subjectivity instead of an objectivity. I would say like you're the subject of the transits rather than you make an objective out of figuring out how to work with your energy actively and being proactive. While we don't know what we don't know, we can't see what we don't see. There are ways daily, especially with meditation, which maybe you guys ought to look into, figure out how you can. I use guided meditations, and I've just recently started sitting before and after, just for like a couple minutes, maybe up to like 15 minutes max, maybe 20 sometimes, maybe 5, to just check in with my energy. This, I feel, will really help us moment to moment tune into the emotions that are filtering through us to balance them out with tried and dated and worn out emotional responses to our life. In Cancer, it just feels like you guys are starting to see, especially as you balance out your emotions, because you're having new experiences. You've been set up in a way to focus now on what you're experiencing, because I feel that you've had like one too many things that you tried to do the old way, and they really sent you deep into yourself. Like you had to deeply ask, why do I keep finding myself everywhere I go? Why do I keep seeing that quote? You find yourself everywhere you go. You go somewhere, there you are kind of energy, which it's a nice mirror, but also kind of frustrating when we're going through it and we don't understand what's going on. So it feels like you guys are done with a way of thinking about Sun moving through the 3rd decan of your, this is your 8th house. Why did you keep ending up with that kind of person? You know, like that kind of guy or girl in this situation where in a specific relationship, or in all of your relationships, because it is the 8th house. Why aren't you getting closer and closer and closer to what you want? Or what's the, I would even say like magnetic force, that opposition that's preventing you from landing this thing? You really want to get there. And Chinamasta, or Sun conjunct Mercury, I think it's going to give you guys a heartfelt song. I was speaking with my husband actually about different genres of music, and I was like, a lot of the shamanic music from like indigenous tribes, like not African peoples, comes from like the root chakra. When you listen to like African music, heart chakra, and Indian music, crown chakra, I'm sure that you can go through the list of genres and see where they resonate the most deeply. But it just feels like you guys are going to end a way of thinking about your feelings. So you might, anytime you feel like you've been gaslighted or like you're gaslighting yourself, you might have jumped into a feeling of like, well, let me get back at them. Or like, I don't have time for this. Like you would just blow yourself off completely. Now it feels like you're using your ability to balance your emotions in a way that is very clarifying as to just tuning into what you feel. So it's like checking the pulse of your feelings. You could have someone like cut you off in traffic, but you tune into how you feel and you're like, oh, I feel really safe. Like I actually feel so safe because That person slowed me down. I know I'm tense. Let me put on a nice album of music that I like, or let me see what Chloe has mixed on SoundCloud for this week. And you might come to find that just fixing your environment a little bit, tweaking a little bit, letting go of certain things in your environment, physical items, donating to an organization. That does feel very 8th house, Sun, Aquarius energy. Items that maybe you held on to that give you a certain energy or put you in a certain mood, or items that you wear, like the second I put on this stained sweater, I just get into the worst mood. You're just going to donate it this week. Set some intentions to do some spring cleaning, and allow for your abundance to start to pile up, because it feels good. Like when you travel, if you have like a new suitcase, right? And the steps to getting to that place where you've remembered to do it, and not like the week before you have to travel, but it's just there. Or like you feel great when you have all your pencils sharpened for colored pencil drawings for your students. You get to that point where you set them up to where they're just going to do it right away. It feels so good whenever you have back energy. You can look around and be like, everything is as it ought to be. So you guys are going to gain that clarity and that perspective on how to use your voice, maybe to make your environments a little bit more friendly for you, so that your energy can be right, so that you can formulate it each day to take it where you need to go. So the concept of a teacher is coming up, but you could just, work in an art shop. And it's like, you just need to make sure that even though this is speaking to like 6th house energy, you just might need to make sure that you feel excellent on your way out the door, getting to where you need to go, because it allows for you to put things into perspective. You have the Priestess of Wands. It allows for you to use your emotions in a way that serves you, that sets up cycles of success. We see how in order to have a rainbow, you do need, which, just speaking to my daughter, they are moving bodies of water. So you need to know where to move that emotion, how to make it work for you so that you get your rainbow. You can have your garden blossoming, springing to life. That's something also with the 7 of Earth. Like you might come to find that you have like a whole orchard that has sprung to life, Cancer, just because you're learning how to sit with your emotions, whether through meditation or just having a nice environment where you can feel safe to unpack how you feel authentically and get that sparkle in your eye. When your heart is on, you will have a sparkle in your eye, Cancer. All right, Scorpio. Sacred symbols tend to always want to come out with Scorpio. So with the start of the reading, you guys got the call to meditate. Shambhavi Mudra is coming out a lot, huh? That's interesting. It came out with morning dew. So maybe it's time for Scorpio to start meditating in the morning time. You see this mudra. Maybe it's time for you guys to look into inner engineering. And I love how all this lilac and pink is there. It just feels like Scorpio, you guys are going to come into an ability to tune in and hone, focus your energy. This for you guys is a 4th house transit, but after this, you get 5th house transit. So it's time for creativity, encouraged mix for your heart to feel safe enough to come out. So it looks like you guys just need a clear, calm mind. Meditation will get you there. It will show you how to maintain clarity, calmness, balance in the ways that Cancer is. But that's your beliefs. So if you want to watch that back, Cancer represents what you believe about where you belong with your 8th house energy, the energy of your depth and intimacy. Look at that, sensuality and secrets. So it feels like meditation might key you into the more subtle realm. So one thing Sadhguru's mentioned is that women are very subtle, and masculine energies, Scorpios, definitely very subtle energy. It might feel safe to open up to someone more than you ever have before, especially in the home space, because this is your 4th house transit, Scorpio. So even though I spoke to what you believe about what is required for intimacy, it might be clear for you guys, like, that you've gained that you have what you believe that you think you need to open up in ways that are speaking about sensuality and secrets, and allows for you to feel through what it is you're experiencing, just to validate, to make sure that you're really on the same page with whomever or whatever is coming up for you in your home life. As we have this 9-degree new moon in Pisces following this full moon in Scorpio, which is your 11th house during this Aquarius season, you guys are going to come into, again, more courage to support your creativity, more of a sense of playfulness to support how you get creative, and then that will fall on how your emotional foundation is looking, how it's feeling. So with meditation and that 10 in Rosa Galicia, let's see what's going to 10 degrees this week. Mercury likely will, not this week, but it's going to get there soon. Scorpio in your 5th house. Jupiter, close to 10. That is in your 8th house. Oh, I see. Okay, Monday the 17th, the sun will be at 20 degrees Aquarius, net 10 in your 4th house. So you guys might come to manifest a new way of getting meditative. And I would even say like coming into secrets and sensuality. Apparently there are blocks around meditation, like there are 5 blocks. I didn't look them up yet on ChatGPT, but I will. And one of them is like the feeling of lust, which could be blocking some of you Scorpios maybe from meditation. Look, the right choice. I have a feeling that someone's making different choices, maybe about how they work with their sensuality, how they work with their secrets, the secrets of their soul. They're meditating on them, and maybe they're coming to see that they're making the right choice about how to feel about secrets and feelings that come through, because as we are living our life, we pass over certain, this is something I'm fascinated by, is astrocartography. We pass over certain lines of influence, and we live on certain lines of influence. You can look it up on Astro Travel on astro.com. Looking in the local space will show you like even the direction you're facing is facing a specific planetary line. So for instance, I could be facing, which I think I am, my Pluto line, and working with that energy and knowing like how to utilize it is going to be very vital. We have Flo with Rhea. She's got a 44. That just feels like there's going to be a lot of openings. Like you see how on her, like she looks like a visionary. With on her crown, there's a lot of these beautiful lotus flowers blossoming. And it feels like, you know, for whatever reason, there are lots of R's, rest and relaxation this week, Scorpio. During a 4th house transit is big. You guys might like to rest with your technology. You guys might come to see that going through this apocalypse and underworld leading to morning dew. This is kind of standing out for you guys. It's like maybe you're finished walking through the underworld of a relationship that didn't pan out. And maybe now you have clarity and a fresh perspective to apply to a relationship that you need to stop being so in your head about and work to summon a vision, maybe a unified vision. I love all the feminine energy in your cards. So I'm going to dive into what the books have to say. First, we'll start with Rhea standing out with that 44, that level of building. And we know that Aquarius, Uranus is going to square the sun in Taurus at 23 degrees this week before the full moon in Leo. So there could be some secrets that come out, but because you have made the right choice, you've been focused, you've been meditating, and you've been learning how to make your energy flow rather than getting stuck or preventing yourself or even allowing for other people to impose their needs upon you or blocking you in any way, shape, or form from you becoming your best self, Scorpio. It feels like you will manifest the right choice. You'll learn how to right some wrong that you felt like, I don't know how I feel on this one. I don't know how this didn't work out in the home space. Why does this keep happening to me in relationships? Why doesn't my home feel right? It feels like this week you're going to learn how to focus on how to make the right choice. And it's going to be different than you think it will be. The right choice will play out in a number of ways for a number of people, all unique. So, Rhea, for alignment. Sometimes you may find yourself in a stagnant state where nothing seems to be moving. The flow between you and the universe is blocked. This can happen when you fear so false evidence appearing real. It's just this concept that drives people crazy. When people have fear as an underlying motive, Scorpio, it can be very I would almost say like this is a subtlety that you're tuning into is the fears. And Wood Serpent this year of the Chinese zodiac is going to learn, I would say maybe help you to draw in your energy instead of allowing for it to be so scattered with fear at the core of your home space. And the clarity and the fresh perspective that you're coming into will help you to unify a vision. Rhea's alignment task for you is to let go of the branch and allow yourself to be carried on the river of your life into parts of the river you've not yet traveled through. Yeah, travel does feel like it's going to come up for you guys soon. And I would even say that bow and arrow is telling you to focus on where you're going. And the Daughter of Swords is saying that it's anywhere that you want to go, it is very much possible. You just have to align a sense of purpose with moving on from this feeling of being stuck or landing in the same position, landing in the same circumstances with different people. All right, let go and allow for flow to do the rest. You'll be amazed at how effortless life becomes. Meditation is going to bring up maybe some sensuality and secret, maybe some former blockages around a level of feeling in your body, in your life, in your world. Like someone could have densely scarred you with some things that they said, and it's like you're coming onto the other side of what that meant, like why that was coming up. Maybe you'll like come across someone who can do soul contract reading. There's Akashic readers that I've even come across recently. Look beyond the beauty to see what lies beneath. Once found, it's best to be silent about it. This knowledge could lead to a great healing for your mind, body, and spirit. So this is saying that maybe there's going to be a level of flow that you can't really verbalize. So again, this is about to move us into a fifth house transit of creativity. The experiences that we have that we can no longer name, Shinamasta, Sun conjoined Mercury in your fourth house, might take you to a place that you don't really know how to describe. And it's going to be something that you grow to put into words. You're entering collectively a renaissance culturally. So it's like the end of a way of thinking, the end of, that's what this apocalypse and underworld is, like fertile compost for us to grow the next level of what it means to have a home in this age, in this era, age of Aquarius, what it means to feel comfortable being at home, and maybe getting out of stagnant energy in your emotions, coming into meditation, coming into clarity and fresh perspectives in ways that really break you through former limitations in relationships and feeling of home, same gendered parent for masculine energies, or opposite gendered parent for masculine energies. I think it's opposite. And it feels like you're going to learn how to start making the right choice for your life because you've been stuck trying to do it the way that other people have taught you, the ways that you have come up with, like you've concocted solutions to issues, but they weren't really, the right fit. It was almost like you had convinced yourself, Scorpio, that you could resolve issues that you hadn't been able to resolve in the moment. And that's why I believe we aren't meant to go back to relationships that didn't work out the first time. Valentine's is coming up, so some of you guys could get it, and Venus retrograde is coming up too. So some of us might have ex-lovers reaching out or something like that, or we're actually starting to make the right choice about what happened in former relationships as this Venus retrograde is bringing up issues that we couldn't resolve. And now we're learning to be here now and apply with meditation, with flow, with focus, all of those things working together at once. They just control different parts of how we make progress in the home space, Scorpio. It's going to bring about a fresh start in your home space this week alone. We'll bring that to you in this movement towards the new moon in Pisces with the spring equinox. It's just a good time to get clear about who you are. I see just cards of an individual, but all of these are speaking to our divine feminine energy. So that feeling of spontaneous creativity, of uninhibited feeling, just massaging out the subtleties and allowing for the parts of us by the new moon in Pisces that do not allow for that divine feminine aspect to express itself freely to be cut loose so that we can continue to float and to flow throughout our life, to continue making the right choices for ourselves so that I would say we're growing leaps and bounds spiritually right now. Moving with that spaciousness into our fifth house transit, Scorpio is going to work wonders for whatever it is that you're building in your home space. All right, so now Pisces. Pisces, you guys, focus, Ace of Cups, Chinamasa. It's like you guys are figuring out what fills your cup. And this fresh perspective is lending you guys a sense of soul retrieval. We have the Sun conjoining Mercury in your 12th house. So the divine definitely is going to start speaking very clearly to you guys through signs, symbols, and synchronicities. I wrote to this for this full moon and everything else. It's all on my Instagram, link below. Me and a friend, we collaborate. She's a Pisces, very creative. And it feels like you guys are just reaping a lot of abundance. Like you all haven't stopped since you learned how to pray. And look, the Starborn. This card never really comes out, and it's been coming out lately. And it feels like we are hatching something that has come through, maybe throughout karma, our perception of our reality, and us learning how to crack the source code, us getting to clarify how our expectations and our emotions, like that as that egg is hatching, maybe it has expectations for what the world is, and maybe the Starborn is going to be surprised. Tears might need to be shed. We might need to allow for that morning dew to be just like us allowing for ourselves to dive into our emotions first thing in the morning, having some somatic practices where we're coming out of the liminal space and we're learning to be back inside of the physical body, Pisces. So this 12th house transit for you guys, it's asking you guys to make wishes. Wishing well, unexpected gifts, kindness, karmic jewels. I told you about the karma, and it just feels like you all have started to believe new things, especially after you feel safe to shed any outdated emotions, any feelings of like your karma with God, as Christopher Witecki has put it, to where it's like you haven't felt spiritually fulfilled or fulfilled on a soul level, even if you've been like a devout practitioner or a student or, you know, whatever you've been in your life. It feels like you guys are coming to hatch a new reason for connecting to the divine, maybe through your emotions, maybe through just coming into a focus level of achieved focus that has been cultivated with this full moon happening in your 8th house. 24-degree full moon, Venus retrograde in your sign. You guys are gaining fresh perspective on how valuable you are. Yeah, you guys are like central to your community, and it's going to be something to where it's like when you are spiritually fulfilled, whenever you feel spiritually restored and renewed, you do so much for the people who are in your life. You can, when you have this 4 of earth energy, when you feel like you can meditate, you can have time and space to yourself, just you and your favorite things to do, Pisces. It feels like you're truly moving throughout life in a way that is sustainable and sustains others. I would say this apocalypse in this underworld is this feeling that you have to do anything more than show up for yourself spiritually. I do want to read the tier as well as the starborn. Okay, so it's like you were destined to come into this sense of value, and you have to come to understand your destiny this week as not only a spiritual leader or a practitioner, but I would even say finding in between the transition of what's coming to be in your life and what has come to an end, this fresh perspective on it. Allow yourself to mourn what you've lost or what you perceive that you've lost. We never really lose anything, it just appears in another form. But in this physical 3D reality, we're allowed to mourn, and maybe you guys have been a little bit too hard on yourself, like not allowing for yourself to make wishes about things that didn't work out in the past. Now you're giving yourself permission to do that. And it feels like it's going to be very healing to your heart as well as to your meditative practice. No matter how you find your meditation, some way, shape, or form, you're going to build important foundations this week for you to continue and sustain your mission, your destiny, which we're born here for. Water signs, thanks for letting me tap into your energy. I hope that this week and this full moon in Leo is very juicy, assertive, fun, playful, and it feels like a lot of us are accessing a newness of trust in reality and our ability to work with our emotions. What more can we ask for? See you guys next week. Love, my aloha.